These are some of the issues that have been considered by the Cabinet on the 23rd of September 2014. I shall present to you some of these issues. First of all, the Cabinet gave its approval to the two draft Royal Acts on the trade of ivory and on the preservation and protection of wild animals as proposed by the Council of State. The first draft Royal Act involves the control of trade and possession of ivory or ivory products according to the law on animals for transportation. As at present, Thailand has laws on the control of trade and possession of ivory or products made from ivory according to the law on the preservation and protection of wild animals, but has no law to control the trade and possession of ivory or ivory products according to the laws on animals for transportation. The loopholes therefore exist with the bringing in of wild elephants according to the laws on the preservation and protection of wild animals to take on the registration as animals for transportation with the ill intent of cutting off their tusks. The problems also involve the trafficking of African ivory into the country for trade and for processing into ivory products. Since Thailand has become a member of CITES Convention, the country therefore has the commitment to act according to the convention that determines member states to have measures for preventing the trade of ivory and products of ivory processing obtained domestically from mixing with that of the illegally acquired ivory. The second Royal Act is the amendment of the principles concerning the import, export, passing through of preserved and protected wild animals and their remains to cover the products that are made from the remains of preserved and protected wild animals. This is to be in keeping with the CITES Convention and to amend the penalty for the offense in hiding, assisting in trade, assisting in taking away, purchasing or receiving products made from remains of wild animals that have been acquired by illegal acts. The draft act also amends the fee at the end of the Royal Act on the preservation and protection of wild animals, BE 2535, to cover the import, export or passing through of products made from remains of preserved or protected wild animals. Both of these draft Royal Acts will control the trade of ivory and products made from ivory according to the law on animals for transportation, and the control on the import, export or passing through of the products made from protected wild animals, and amending the principles to support the designation of African elephants to be protected wild animals according to the Royal Act of Preserved and Protected Wild Animals, BE 2535. These are to be in keeping with the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, or CITES. They are also urgent Royal Acts that must be enforced within March 2015, according to the work plan and time frame that Thailand had agreed to during the 65th meeting of the Standing Committee of CITES during the 7th and the 11th of July 2014. In order for the enforcement of laws be efficient in accordance with the intent of the laws and in keeping with the Convention of CITES, the Council of State had therefore proposed the two draft Royal Acts for the consideration of the Cabinet. The Cabinet hence gave its approval and instructed for the drafts to be presented to the National Legislative Assembly or NLA Coordination Committee to consider prior to the urgent submission to the NLA. The Cabinet approved the draft joint statement of the Lao PDR, Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore Power Integration Project or LTMS PIP and allowed the Minister of Energy or his representative to jointly acknowledge the draft statement with other energy ministers of ASEAN. The 32nd ASEAN Ministers on Energy meeting, or AMEM, to be held between the 22nd and the 24th of September 2014 in Vientiane, Laos PDR, has the theme of power integration for ASEAN prosperity. During the meeting, members considered the buying and selling electricity across the border among Lao PDR, Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore with the aim to promote economic and energy security in the region. There will be acknowledgement of the draft joint statement of the Lao PDR, Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore Power Integration Project or LTMS PIP. The draft statement illustrates the joint intention in arranging the pilot project for the study of the trade of electricity across the border by laying broad direction for the implementation without imposing any commitment. There will be no legal binding, and hence it will not cause any specific binding for Thailand in terms of economic security or trade and investment. The Council of State considered the matter and found the document that will be acknowledged without any signature to be the joint declaration of intent in the implementation of the project, without any wording that may cause legal binding in accordance to the international laws. Launched during Lao PDR's chairmanship of the ASEAN Energy Track, this pilot project will serve as a pathfinder to complement existing efforts towards realizing the ASEAN Power Grid, or APG, and the ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, by creating opportunities for electricity trading beyond neighboring borders. As the first step, the 4 countries will set up the LTMS PIP working group to study the technical viability of cross-border power trade of up to 100 megawatts from Lao PDR to Singapore through existing interconnections. The Cabinet also approved the MOU on ASEAN cooperation in agriculture and forest products promotion scheme and designated the Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives or his representative to sign the said document, and should there be necessity to amend it in parts that are not of essence or does not conflict with Thailand's interest, the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives may proceed with it without having to submit it to the Cabinet for reconsideration. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs had also been designated to arrange a letter of full powers for Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives or his representative to sign the aforementioned documents. The MOU on ASEAN cooperation in agriculture and forest products promotion scheme is a document under the cooperation framework on food, agriculture and forest of ASEAN that received the Cabinet's approval on the 23rd of August 1994, and the ASEAN Ministers on Agriculture and Forestry, or AMAF, first signed the document in 1994, allowing it to be effective for 5 years. This was extendable by the consensus of member states. The present document received the Cabinet's approval on the 3rd of November 2009 and signed on the 11th of November 2009, will be in effect until the 12th of November 2014. The 35th special session of the senior official meeting of AMAF between the 18th and the 19th of August 2014 in Sabah, Malaysia, reached its decision to approve the MOU and ask member states to process the document according to the country's internal laws. The member countries should then be ready for the signing ceremony by the ASEAN Ministers on Agriculture and Forestry, or AMAF, during the 36th meeting of AMAF to be held in Naypyidaw, Myanmar, during the 20th and the 26th of September 2014. The MOU has the main objectives of strengthening and increasing the bargaining power of the trade of agriculture and forest products of ASEAN in the world market, facilitating trade that will lead to the expansion of the market, developing the quality and safety of goods and food, and serving as the base for close coordination among member states. The MOU also aims to increase the confidence that there will be raw materials available for sustainable production under the work plan of the Agriculture and Forest Products Promotion, covering 12 product categories. The latter are those with economic importance for at least 2 or more member states. And the last story to present to you today, the Cabinet gave its approval to the draft MOU between the governments of ASEAN member countries and the government of the People's Republic of China on strengthening sanitary and phytosanitary cooperation. The Cabinet also designated the Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives or his representative to sign the draft MOU, and should there be any amendment of the document that is not of essence, the Ministry may consult with the Department of Treaties and Legal Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to consider the matter without having to resubmit it to the Cabinet. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs had also been designated to arrange a letter of full powers for Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives or his representative to sign the aforementioned document. This MOU will promote the cooperation on the inspection, quarantine, and implementation of sanitary and phytosanitary measures of SPS between ASEAN member countries and the People's Republic of China that was approved by the Cabinet on the 13th of May 2007. The signing ceremony took place during the 11th ASEAN-China Summit in November 2007, and the MOU had been in effect for 5 years. It expired in 2012, and ASEAN member states and China agreed for it to be extended a year at a time. Such MOU had been extended twice, and the present one will expire on the 20th of November 2014. Member states therefore requested the Office of the ASEAN Secretariat to present a new draft MOU for consideration. The signing of the MOU will take place during the 4th ASEAN-China Ministerial Meeting on Quality Supervision, Inspection and Quarantine in Myanmar at the end of September 2014. This MOU will help promote the continuous cooperation on SPS between ASEAN member countries and China since the 2015 to 2016 operation plan has been laid out. This will result in the promoting of SPS potentials among the participants in the MOU. Thank you very much.